Gerhard Berger arrived in Australia this time 12 months ago with ambitions of becoming a Formula 1 world champion, and that's exactly what he's done. But will we leave Australia this time round with Gerhard Berger being a two-time Formula 1 world champion? Or game, take it. Just a year after his Lotus days had ended, his Williams days will end as well. The McLaren-bound driver is ready. He's ready to become a Formula 1 world champion, but can he snatch the one from the Williams and take it to McLaren? We'll have to find out. But at the start of the year, he was left with this message. You join us live for the Australian Grand Prix, and in the intro we said Game has lost his drive to Ayrton Senna. We knew that very early on. We knew late on that he'd be joining McLaren, but we're not looking at that today. We're looking at the standings. Game on 68 points, Berger on 62 points. Berger really needs the Grand Prix victory today, with Game scoring no less than 1 point, 2 point. It's going to be a difficult day for the McLaren driver, but they'll be teammates next season, so is there going to be any animosity between the two next year? But let's get straight to the Grand Prix. It's all sunshine and rainbows here in Australia, downtown Adelaide, for the 1991 season finale. And there's two men left. Two men who can win this world championship. One has a little bit more of an advantage than the other. Game on 68, Berger on 62. We'll keep the live updates on the championship standings, but this is the grid for the final time in 1991. Lacey was a rocket in qualifying, put it on pole position ahead of Gerhard Berger. He'll be looking to jump off the line. Senna in third. Can he help his teammate? Will he help his teammate in his final race for McLaren? Alain Prost, the final Grand Prix of his glittering career. He's in fourth place. Game is fifth ahead of his teammate Nigel Mansell, with the two Benettons of Patrese and Nannini in seventh and eighth. Michael Schumacher in his last Grand Prix for Jordan takes ninth place ahead of his teammate Bertrand Gachot. Luigi Martini and Morbidelli looking forward to their Audi partnership for next season, or will they? Comas in 13th there, and I've missed a few there. 15th is Brundle. Blundell is in 16th place. Capelli 17th, and 18th is Hakkinen. 19th is Johnny Herbert, with Gugelman in 20th place. The two footwork arrows been non-existent this season. Take up the back row. 21st, 22nd. Right, we're ready for the start of this Grand Prix. The engines will start revving. Anything could go wrong into the first corner. Remember, you can't win it in the first one, but you can lose it in the first one. And we're waiting for the green, and we're away, and it's a slow start from Game. He's going to get jumped by the two Benettons. That could be disastrous if he gets stuck behind them. Not an impressive amount of ways to overtake around this circuit, but they're all through turn one. I think Game's dropping down to sixth. It's a Lacey, Berger, Senna, Prost, and then I believe Mansell in fifth place. It is sixth place. It is Game. He's dropped down. Now, this will be interesting. I can't see it staying like this, but will Mansell put up a fight? They haven't seen eye to eye this season. It fell out very early in the season, but this is going to be interesting. There's Berger's wide. He's hit the wall. Has Berger hit the wall? We're going to need a replay. I think he's hit the wall. We're on board. And he's grazed the wall. Just brushed it. He didn't look to do any damage, and he remains second in this Grand Prix. We look back at Senna behind him, and Senna, I don't know what Senna's going to do today with him bound to. And this is Game actually out of the at a quick sweeping right-hander, and he's got a run on his teammate. He slips back in behind. Is he going to try and move into the hairpin on the brakes? Fantastic, and he's up into fifth place now. That would see him world champion if remains the same. He's got Alain Prost. The final race of Alain Prost's career is the man ahead of him, and it will be interesting. But Lacey is going to lead the first lap with Berger second. Senna is in third as it stands. Game will win the championship by 2 points. A very long way to go here. this afternoon, though. Anything could happen. And very, very likely that will. But that's Mansell testing the ability of his curb riding skills there at the turn 1. He's had a disappointing season this year, Nigel Mansell. He'll need to be up his game next year if he wants to be anywhere near his brand new teammate of Ayrton Senna. But we're on board now, and we've got Alain Prost ahead of us. And it's been a decent start. We started 4th. Yeah, we started 4th. We're down in 5th. And we just need to be calm. We do need to not lose too much time, though, because if Berger does pass Alesi for the lead of this Grand Prix, that would give him the World Championship if we remain in 5th place. Still a very long way to go. We seem to have the pace on Alain Prost, so we'll have to work our magic and see if we can get past. And we have got a run on Alain Prost on lap 3 of this Grand Prix. Can we get it done into the hairpin? We've got a great slipstream here. We knocked a bit of wing off for this Grand Prix. Are we going to dive up the inside? We are from a long way back. And that's Ayrton Senna up ahead. And that is our next car that we need to pass. However, I think as it stands with getting another position. 71 points to Berger's 68. 3 points he would win the World Championship by. Not bad, considering Berger was down and out a few Grand Prix ago. But we're going to cross the line for lap 4 to finish lap 3 and start lap 4 of this Grand Prix. But Alesi's really starting to pull away now. Berger doesn't seem to have an answer for the Ferrari driver. And he's going to need to pick the pace up soon. He could fall a victim to Senna behind, because we still don't really know what Senna's going to do. His final Grand Prix for the McLaren team. So I'd be surprised if he's going to put his neck on the line and help his teammate. They do get on. I think that's the one crumb of comfort that Berger can have. And Schumacher taking his final laps for the Jordan team. He's had a great season. A few mistakes, of course. You expect that from a rookie. But he is Benetton bound, and he cannot wait. He is incredibly excited. Benetton team putting a lot of fund in. And he's run wide. He's at the wall. Oh, is that him? And he's rolled it. He has rolled it. Schumacher, he clipped the Benetton. He's clipped the car he'll be driving next season. That is not how he wanted to end his season, but Schumacher is out of the Australian Grand Prix. And here we look at the 3-time Formula 1 World Champion, Alain Prost. Not had the most glamorous of 1991 seasons. And I think he's been a bit disappointed. I think he's checked out. When he announced his retirement in Canada, he's not really been there or there. He's been there or thereabouts, but nothing too not like his teammate Alesi, who he said is Ferrari's future. So he will look forward to watching from afar. But yeah, thank you, Alain Prost. Game here. Now, he has been fantastic this season. It's been a very long time since he won a Grand Prix. I think back in Argentina was the last time he won a Grand Prix, but he's been consistent. He took a lot of curb there, and that has allowed Alain Prost all over the back of him, actually. We'll discuss later about his season. Oh, he's getting dangerously close to the wall. I think tyres are gone. I do think the tyre wear around here is phenomenal. But he just needs to keep it out of the water. It doesn't matter. At this present point in time, it does not matter if Alain Prost gets past him. He is still champion as it stands. Nigel Mansell in the distance there. And yes, and we are going to come into the pits. Game into the pits for the final time as a Williams driver. He's going to hit his marks beautifully. They've been working on pit stops. Fair play to them, because they were shocking early doors, but they have made massive improvements all round the team. They haven't brought any upgrades for 4 Grand Prix though. However, that hasn't stopped a championship charge from game. And he's dropped down to 6th place. He's behind his teammate. He's come out just ahead of Riccardo Patrese in the Benetton. The problem Gerhard Berger now faces is he's not catching Alesi, and his teammate Senna is catching him. I wonder if I was Berger, I'd let him go. Let Senna go, see if he can catch Alesi, and then just bank on Senna being a good friend more than a good teammate, in hopes of claiming the win. He needs to win this Grand Prix, because this guy is getting further and further away in this race. They need to make their mind up soon. But Alesi pits. Alesi is in the pits. This is where it's going to get tasty. And is any of the McLarens going to follow them in? Berger stays out. Senna's in. Senna is in. Berger stays out. He leads the Grand Prix now. And he heads towards turn 1. But this is not his net position. He will be stopping at some point today. I don't think we're going to get a Nigel Mansell from a couple of weekends ago. And which the result that took the other McLaren driver out of the championship. But Berger needs I assume this will be his in-lap. So he needs to really, really put the hammer down now. And at least he's come out behind his teammate. He's actually had he's had an impressive first stint there. Jean Alesi, been incredibly fast. Can't imagine Prost will put up too much of a fight. He'll be in a couple of laps surely. But here's Berger. The McLaren mechanics are out. This is an incredibly and he stayed out. Berger stayed out. Why has he done that? The 2 cars there ahead are being about to be lapped by the McLaren driver, and I'm absolutely baffled that he stayed out. He's going to get caught up in this traffic and surely lose out more time. The McLaren mechanics were out in the pit lane though, so he was definitely scheduled to come in. Radio issue potentially? I don't know, but he's been caught. But he would have seen that. He had the board, the +1, as he came past when Senna pitted. If he didn't see it, then that's fair, but I'm baffled that he stayed out. He's got past the Lotus driver who's clipped the wall, but he's got a Tyrrell ahead of him. That he'll be on the back of. He's on the back of as we jump forward in the lap. And surely he's going to have to come into the pits, but he's lost so much time. He's going to be behind Senna, surely. Surely he's going to be behind Ayrton Senna in this Grand Prix. And into the box comes... That's a massive crash. That is a massive crash. I believe that was a Ferrari. It was Alain Prost. I think it was Alain Prost. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Let's see what is unfolding here in the pit stop phase. There's Senna. And that's not game, that's Mansell. I nearly got very excited there. But Senna is past his teammate. And he's going to lose out to Nigel Mansell, who hasn't stopped yet. That would have been crippling, and he still might. He sweeps round the outside and keeps 3rd place at this present point in time. But Berger, what were you thinking? Staying out, he's going to have to rely on Ayrton Senna chasing down Jean Alesi in this Grand Prix. And here we go past Nigel Mansell's spun car. But that's not what we're here for today. But we've had some okay pace, not the leader's pace. We haven't really had leader's pace for a few Grand Prix now, after Williams decided they weren't going to improve the car. But we look at the Williams driver pretty much as it stands. Formula 1 World Champion. Gerhard Berger has dropped 2 points because he's not 2nd anymore. He's dropped down into 3rd place. So he is not as well off in the point standings. So that means Game at the moment will win the world title by 5 championship points. And he's been fantastic. I believe he's not won a Grand Prix since the Argentinian race several months ago. But he's been consistent. Williams have not really bought too many upgrades in the last half of the season. I feel that if he had stayed, or was staying for 1992, then that would be the case. But he has driven fantastically this season, and just with a couple of laps to go, looks certain to win the World Championship. And we apologise, earlier we got caught up in the pit stop phase. We didn't show you the Alain Prost crash. He's out of the car, he's okay, he's in the garage, and that is a massive crash. Didn't really get to see the ending of that due to the advertising boards getting a lot of access today. But he looks like brake failure. And he clipped that wall. It actually looks like if he clipped that, he's clipped the wall, and that's kind of helped him not have a head-on collision. That's not a great way to end his Formula 1 career. But we're back live. Senna is hunting down Alesi. He is much faster than Jean Alesi. Over the last couple of laps, he's taken 2.3 seconds out of the Frenchman in the lead of this Grand Prix. But is he going to run out of laps? And is he doing it for himself, or is he doing it for his teammate Gerhard Berger? But I think he's going to run out of laps. There's only a couple to go, and I think they should have let Senna through. I think if they wanted to, what I would have done is they should have let Senna through early doors to chase down. But we'll never know that now, and I'm surprised they didn't do that. And Senna, with just a few corners to go, Senna is right on the back of John Lacey's gearbox, but I don't think there's enough time for anything spectacular to happen here. And Berger looks to have had pace in this second stint. It was just that first one he really struggled with. Did not have the pace. Probably should have let Senna through, but that does not matter now, as Lacey rounds the final corner to win the Australian Grand Prix and the season finale. Senna second, Berger third, but we're waiting for one man to cross the start-finish line. Here he is, weaving in, weaving out. He is your Formula One World Champion of 1991. Yes, indeed. A fantastic result from the Brit in just his second season nonetheless. We need to remember that. He's still very early on in his Formula One career. And he heads to McLaren as the world champion. And I wonder how Williams will be feeling about this. They do technically on paper get the world championship, but will not get to keep the number one. And there we have it. That's the final classification for 1991. And Sean Lacey won, but it was very close. Just a second separated him and Senna towards the end of this race. Gerhard Berger 3.5 back. Just didn't have the pace today. Never really looked like gaining that pace. Gaining fourth, and that's your world champion there. Riccardo Patrese in fifth. Mansell got recovered from his spin to finish in sixth place. Just the two retirements. That'll be Michael Schumacher and Alain Prost. But if you've enjoyed 91, remember to give it a like, subscribe. There'll be a gap between now and 92, but keep an eye out for more UF1. Bye bye.